Hi, READ516, and welcome to week 8. I'm Heather Brandon, your course instructor, and I'm going to apologize to you in advance. I may not sound like myself as I'm a little under the weather and have a terrible cold, but will do my best to get through these lectures for this week. Let's get started with part 1, talking about upcoming assignments, and we will start with good news, which comes from one of your colleagues. Some other good news I wanted to make sure and share is that this is week 8 and we are officially halfway through the course. There's only 7 more weeks after this on top of a vacation week, so you're definitely at the top of the hill making your way down. So this good news comes from Erica, who says, "'Tis the season for after-school reading intervention," which I know is currently happening at my school as well, and I am the after-school tutoring coordinator, so I've been a little busy with that. But she says, of course, she can't say no to this, especially because no one else is going to do it. But the good news is that she's already conducted the MRP for each after-school student and plans to conduct the IRI and spelling inventory next week. So I thought that was great that Erica was already starting to apply some of the assessments learned in this course with her tutoring group. She also wants to attempt to do the assessments on all of the students in her class and was asking me for strategies on how to accomplish that large feat, to which I said, it's not very manageable to do this much assessing on all the kids in your class. I would prioritize maybe the lowest performing students right now and get them done first before you move on. So, work incrementally to get one chunk of kids done at a time. And I know when I was a classroom teacher, I only did the 5 or 6 lowest students because they really are comprehensive, in-depth assessments. And it may not be appropriate to do everybody either, although they give you great information. All right, moving on. Readings for week 8. Everyone should be reading chapters 7 through 13 of the QRI. These sections are on how to score and analyze your assessment results, which will be very important for WAPR number 5. You also need to choose one of the 2 articles that are pretty similar in nature. The first one is "I'm Not Stupid: How Assessment Drives Inappropriate Reading Instruction." And that assessment they're talking about is state testing. And then this article from the Australian Journal of Language and Literacy, which is titled "Behind Test Scores: What Struggling Readers Really Need." So again, talking about how state test scores may or may not illuminate the problem or identify what struggling readers really need. Both encourage you to take a clinical approach, diagnostic, prescriptive, assessment, analysis method. What is due this week? Well, you probably saw that there is an extension on video 3. So video 3 will be due this week, October 18th. Also, WAPR number 5 is due this week, and given how well these have been going, I'm looking at discontinuing the WAPRs after we do one for session number 7. I want you to do one more QRI WAPR after this, but then we can move away from the analysis part of the assessments and focus really on the synthesizing of results in the diagnostic report, which you're going to do for student 2. So pretty sure that after number 5 you only have one more WAPR. Fieldwork requirement for student 2 needs to be submitted in this week's block on titanium, and you should also start preparing for session 6 and working on your diagnostic report, which is due the end of next week, October 25th. So upcoming assignments this week, we already said video 3, WAPR 5, parent permission form. Next week will be the diagnostic report, so make sure you're working on that during all of your free time. You will also conduct session 6, but you will not have a WAPR due and you will not have a video due. You may have a forum discussion. That's up for discussion still. Week 10, November 1st, you're doing session 7. You have WAPR number 7, which I'm going to call the last one, and video number 4 due. I just wanted to go back to these charts, or they're calling them a diagnostic plan, that is in your core multiple measures for assessment book. You'll note that this is the assessment sequence for the primary grade students, and it encourages you starting with more of these kind of sub-skills with phonological awareness, phonics survey, high frequency words, vocabulary, fluency, and then at the bottom is comprehension that you can't see. And I just want you to see that this is the approach we took with our first student. Whereas now that we prepare to see our second student, we're going to start with the more holistic assessment, not the core maze, but the QRI. And then based on the student's results on the QRI, we're going to work our way down to phonemic awareness and phonics, which is what is recommended and supported by the articles this week. They say too often people just jump into assuming kids need instruction in phonics and phonemic awareness, but we're going to go through a series of assessments to make that determination if that's truly what the student needs. So I wanted to draw your attention to that as we prepare for session 6 with our new student. We will always start with the affective domain, except this time you will also give the QRI word list because in session 7 you are giving the QRI. So for session 6 you can plan to have an interest inventory. If your students in grades 1 through 6 you'll give the MRP, but if they're above grade 6 you'll give the adolescent MRP. You will also do the QRI word list. Remember to start 2 grade levels below their current grade level and then work your way up until you hit the frustration level. And then last but not least is the parent interview or survey. Again, no video due this week, no WAPR due this week because you are working on the diagnostic report. So that's a look at what we have due. Please join me back for part 2 of the lectures where I will be talking about how to score and analyze the QRI and what exactly I am going to be looking for on WAPR number 5. So if you want to get that 30 out of 30 points, join me back in part 2 so you can hear exactly what I'm looking for. All right, see you back.